Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here.
Good to have you. All right, one of the latest cases, and I know you're dealing with many cases, one of the latest cases you're dealing with is with a 68-year-old Baronelle Stutzman, I believe her name is, the sole owner of Arlene's Flowers in Richland, that's in Washington State, running this florist shop. Some folks come in and they want some flowers for their gay wedding or civil ceremony out there, and she says, I can't do that because I'm a Christian. And they say, well, we don't care about that. We're going to take you to court.
Well, yeah, and the interesting thing is that it was actually one guy that came in and asked for the flowers, the floral arrangements, and a long-time friend of Baronelle Stutzman's. She had been creating floral arrangements for him for 9 years. Had a warm relationship with him, but she said, I can't create the floral arrangements for your wedding. It's contrary to my faith. And he said, he actually said, well, I understand. She gave him a hug. He left, and then he put it on his Facebook page. The Attorney General of Washington saw that and took the extraordinary step of filing a lawsuit against a private business, a private business owner, simply for exercising her faith. The ACLU followed that about a week later with a lawsuit of its own on behalf of the same-sex couple.
It's just amazing to me. So the Attorney General personally, Bob Ferguson out there, has gone after this lady for trying to live by according to her Christian beliefs. Now, the latest development, I think, in this story is that she, the shop owner, is countersuing?
That's right. We have filed a countersuit against Bob Ferguson, the Attorney General, to get an injunction. And the countersuit says basically that Baronelle Stutzman and Arlene's Flowers has basic constitutional rights that are at issue in here. In this case, they're fundamental rights, the rights that must be respected and honored by the courts, and she should be allowed to live by her faith and operate her business according to her faith, because there are plenty of florists to provide flowers for same-sex couples without forcing Baronelle Stutzman to violate her faith to do so.
Dale, this is Jeremy. One of the really scary things about this, it says that Ferguson sued her last month for declining to act contrary to her faith and use her creative talents to beautify this same-sex ceremony. But it's scary to me when the government comes in and is forcing a private citizen or a private business to provide a service to someone, regardless, then you have the fact that it violates her constitutionally protected freedom to practice her religion however she wants. But when the government comes in and starts telling people, you must do this, and if you don't, we, the government, are going to sue you for it, that really gets into some scary ground all around.
It really does, and especially as more and more states start to try to redefine marriage to include same-sex couples. I mean, this is an issue that people knew was going to happen in Washington when it redefined marriage last year, and here it is. It's on our doorstep, and it is a scary proposition because there are laws like this all over the country, and then once a state, like I said, redefines marriage, it has a huge impact on religious liberty.
This case.
And just your base. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was going to say this case sounds very much like the battle that companies like Hobby Lobby are in right now over the contraceptive mandate.
Very similar issue. In fact, we're watching those cases. We've got several of those cases along with other groups across the country that business owners are saying, listen, we just want to exercise our faith. It's a government overreach to mandate these sorts of things. So I think you're right. It's very similar. The attacks on business owners is extraordinary. And really, the last 5 years, we've seen a dramatic increase.
Where's this going to end up, Dale? I mean, we have a lot of Christian business people who listen to our programs each day, and I'm sure they're out there listening, and they're saying, when is my turn going to come? I mean, there are laws on the books. So I think we still live in the United States of America that says part of the freedoms that are guaranteed in the Constitution is my ability to exercise my religious beliefs.
That's right, and thankfully, at least with the HHS mandate cases, the Hobby Lobby type cases, the courts have been receptive to those arguments, and we're hopeful that Washington courts will be receptive of our arguments for Arlene's flowers in the same way, because you're right; these are fundamental rights protected by our Constitution. And so, business owners, I think they need to be aware of the issues. It's not a time that we can sort of bury our heads in the sand. We got to be vigilant in protecting our rights here and standing up for our rights. Because if too many people, try to ignore the issue at this point, we're really going to be in trouble. So I'm thankful in that regard to Baronelle Stutzman, who stood up for her faith when they came in and asked her to do it, but then also stood up for her faith, in the face of demands from the ACLU and the Attorney General of Washington, which can be a pretty scary thing. So we're delighted to step in and stand with her in this fight, like we will for other business owners that are challenged in this way.
Dale, how can folks get a hold of you if they find themselves in a similar situation?
They can call us at 1-800-TELL-ADF, TELL-ADF, or they visit our website at alliancedefendingfreedom.org.
Dale, thanks for joining us today and keep us abreast of this situation.
My pleasure. Thanks for discussing it.
You bet. Dale Schowengerdt, Senior Legal Counsel, Alliance Defending Freedom. And as I said, Jeremy, this is an all too similar situation that's building across this country. Christian businesses, we've done stories now in the last few years of Christian bed and breakfast places who say to homosexual couples, I'm sorry, I'm a Christian and I cannot rent a room to you two men or two women, whatever the case may be. But it's a crime. This is why we keep going back to the phrase, this is spiritual warfare. And in this country, many people have not experienced this before, but it's right at our doorstep, and it's come through the door in many of these cases like this one we were just talking about.
Well, these issues that we talk about